Hey everybody, I'm Tank, and this is another episode of my series, Interview with a Roadie. And in this series, I get to sit down with artists, band members, other roadies, and really anybody else and just talk about whatever we want. These are not typical interviews, man. We just have a conversation and see where it leads us. And today, I've got a very special treat. Recently, I got to sit down with Mohammed Abdul and Gattopanceri666, not their real names, by the way, shocker, right? Of Nanowar of Steel, and they were great, man. Super nice guys, super intelligent, great sense of humor, and it was a great conversation. We got to talk about how they write music, how they tried to tour at Ikea without Ikea knowing, and we talked about their album Stairway to Valhalla releasing on vinyl for the very first time. And I've already pre-ordered mine, and by the time this interview is out, it is available. So if you're interested in supporting the band, I'll put a link in the description below on where you can pick that up. I enjoyed the hell out of this. I hope you do too. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this next 25 to 30 minute conversation. Let's go. Welcome everybody. I have a special treat today. We've got Nanowar of Steel with us. Welcome guys.
Hey.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Why don't you guys introduce yourself for the people watching and we'll just get going.
Go, Valerio.
Okay, I'm Mohammed Abdul. I'm the guitar player of Nanowar of Steel, the first and only band that actually went into Uranus.
Yes. So I can introduce myself and say that I didn't really I didn't take part to that enterprise. I didn't enter Uranus. No, I didn't visit it. I just tend to be the bass player and tend to be the founding member of Nanowar of Steel and tend to be the one who's in charge of keeping the band under control, like not going too much into other people's anuses because it can be... There's a bunch of countries where this thing is illegal, especially if you don't agree. Like,
yeah, no joke. I was wondering before I started this interview how long it was going to be before a Uranus reference, and it was 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Yeah, of course.
Can I tell you the rationale behind this choice?
Yeah.
We want to make this joke once and for all, so that that's it.
That's it. Just the
That's
once in the video.
Yeah, please. It's an old joke.
So so I watched that video and it was great because the joking aside, when I was watching the video, I was like, dude, they're putting in some like actual thought into these lyrics. Like they're spouting scientific facts. And then somebody in the comments was like, oh yeah, dude, they're like part-time astrophysicists too. And I was like, wait, what? So there's some truth to that, right?
There is some truth in the sense it's not part-time. I'm a full-time astronomer, and it's not it's just me in the band. So, but yeah, I'm an astro. I mean, I got a PhD. I'm a PhD astrophysicist. I'm working for the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, but I work pretty much everywhere around the world. So yeah,
dude, that is awesome.
It is.
So with a job like that and stuff like that, like I gotta ask then, how did the music really start? Because how do you balance something like that you're doing full time with the music and all that? Was the music just a hobby to you guys that became something, or
something in between? I mean, I would say like for up to a couple of years ago, I would miss most of the shows. I wasn't able to attend, so we had like a replacement for the bass for the live shows, at least for 3 or 4 years. Right now, I don't know. We are trying to do both. I mean, we don't have to play, right? So we can just...
Yeah. I mean, right now, especially with the times and stuff, it's like,
yeah.
I watched Sneeze 'em of a Yawn, and I was like, this is the content I want to see during the pandemic. I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear anybody bitching about stuff anymore. Like I watched that and I was just dying, man. And it's so good to see that humor, especially during a time like this. And when I've talked to other people, they've said it's all about how your attitude and what you make about situations like this. So
it's all about the kind of cold that you catch.
Yeah,
One I got for Sneeze 'em of a Yawn, Mohammed. So that song was completely recorded by Valerio Stork. So by the way, his real name, you can see there, Eduardo Carlesi. I'm not Eduardo Carlesi, come on, I'm Gattopanceri666.
Yeah.
Valerio Stork is Mohammed Abdul, so that's a stage name, and these are going to be our real names. I mean, this.
Yeah, but all the time when we talk to each other, we get wrong and we say the wrong name that is the real one. So.
Yeah,
actually mixed, because sometimes you say Abdul or Gatto or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's like most bands I've worked with on the road have like 5 different nicknames for every single person in the band.
Yeah.
So whenever they're talking to somebody else, they're like, "Hey, can you go tell so and so this?" They're like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?" They're like, "Oh yeah, him." Oh, that's great,
absolutely.
man.
That's the way. Yeah.
So you guys, I assume you're both in Italy right now,
We are.
Yep.
and you've we were kind of talking before we started recording. A
Yeah.
lot of stuff is pretty shut down and secluded. Aside from music, have you guys picked up any new hobbies or anything just keeping you busy during this time, or have you been able to spend time with family that you haven't because of doing so much music? Like, what have you guys been up to?
Families we were not aware of.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, from my point of view, being a full-time, not an astronomist, but I'm full-time software engineer. So actually, I didn't have to find any kind of different hobby because I already have my work to do.
Yeah.
And actually, it didn't change anything. But I want to say that, for people that do this kind of job, having the chance to work all the time by home is actually a little bit better than having to go all the time somewhere else. So I'm part of the really tiny part of the population of the world, which lifestyle during the COVID actually improved, and I feel really ashamed of it. But for my point of view,
especially you're telling it to someone.
Yeah, I know that. For the rest of the world, it's not like that. So maybe it's better if I don't say anything. But however, during this quarantine, I had to work normally, as I already done. But in the meantime, I had the chance to focus also on music more than I did before. So that's how it's going.
My point of view on that too is like, as we said earlier before we started, like, it's all about what you make out of the situation and if you can be positive and stuff like that. So I've had a lot of people kind of express what you just said. You said, you're one of the few who thinks they've had a better lifestyle, but you shouldn't feel bad saying that, because if somebody else wants to get mad about that, that's their problem. They can control how they feel about the situation.
Absolutely.
They just want to be miserable. So like for me,
yeah,
like as we've talked, for me, we got sent home in March from tour. We were actually like a day away from going to Australia, and they pulled the plug immediately. Fuck. They were like, when it started ramping up in the US, they're like, we're going home. And then the whole tour got canceled. And then months after that got canceled. Now we don't know what's going on, but this whole YouTube thing for me started from a sense of, what am I going to do? Yeah. Like, it's not like I can go out and find another job right now. So I started the YouTube thing, and it's like, it started as a hobby, and now it actually literally is, no joke, a full-time thing. Like every day I get up, but the nice thing is I can walk from my bedroom to here. And because I'm not touring, my wife and I have been married for 6 years, and this is the most time we've spent together consecutively since we've known each other. Wow. And it's fantastic. So I have no complaints.
Yeah. So, okay. We are on the same side.
Yeah,
I guess.
Absolutely. That's why I don't feel guilty about it. I'm like, but I get it, man. It's interesting. And it's like, who knows what's going to happen when, bands are able to tour and stuff like that. And, with you guys were releasing new videos and stuff like that. And then, December 4th, Stairway to Valhalla comes out on vinyl.
Yes.
Like that's the first vinyl printing of that, right?
It's the first vinyl printing of Stairway to Valhalla. I can show it with pride. I got my first copy in advance, of course, because I I tend, as I said, I tend to play Nanowar of Steel, so I tend to have some advantages. I got this privilege of being the first one to actually unfold, unpack.
Oh,
Such a nice
actually,
red
he
vinyl.
got this privilege also with respect to me because I'm 500 kilometers away from him.
Exactly.
And I cannot watch that stuff. Please show me again. I want to see it.
I will show you. Oh, look. Actually, it's not just. Oh, just you know, it's not just vinyl. There's a bonus CD.
Oh,
So that's the bonus CD. It's like a normal CD. It's also in the vinyl, but there's
Nice.
also a CD reprint. So the CD is also reprint. So if anyone
Wow.
wants in a more advanced format, this is like a festival of old-fashioned formats. I would say like useless formats nowadays, like CD and vinyl. Who's buying those anyway?
no joke. If you see one of my videos in the future after that release date, it's gonna be on that wall. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
That looks so sick. I like that.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, dude, that's so awesome, man. And I know Napalm Records is distributing and releasing that, but for the most part, you guys have done everything yourselves, pretty much until now, right?
Up to last year. So last year we signed with Napalm Records after 16 years around. Was our first record deal. We didn't even search for a record deal. Like we never looked for that because first of all, we knew that like people would refuse our kind of attitude and music. It's not something, at least up to a few years ago, I would say that no one would ever take seriously this kind of project, like as to investing money and really making something serious out of it.
Which is funny to me because the humor is in the music, but you guys are great musicians too. Like the first time somebody told me about you guys and I listened, I kind of asked a buddy, I was like, so is this like Steel Panther from Italy? And he's like, no. He's like, you got to just listen to all of it yourself. And that's the key thing I noticed, especially as like a tech and an ex-musician, is like, obviously the humor and the fun element is there, but the musicianship is also there. And I really appreciated that, man. You guys are great players and it's fun to listen to as well as funny to listen to. And speaking of that, I got to bring this up. I made my wife watch Valhalla this morning.
Okay.
She had never seen it. And my wife grew up in a very like conservative Southern Baptist area in the South in the US. And when the music video started, she was like, I didn't tell her I was putting it on. And she kind of looked up from her phone and she's like, what are you listening to? And I'm like, just keep watching, just keep watching. And by the end of it, we were just dying, man. And it's like, with something like that, there were so many good lyrics that I was trying to pick apart, but I'm like,
I got something. Sorry, a very important question.
Yeah,
like, did she have like the impulse of going to Ikea and buy some furniture?
Okay, here's what's funny about that. We've been talking about it because, we've got our first child is on the way and we're trying to get furniture. And I'm like, I've been joking because I grew up with an Ikea near me. I was like, we need to go to Ikea and get some furniture. And then after watching that video, she was like, where's the nearest Ikea? And I was like, I think it's in like Memphis, which is like 3 hours from us. But now we're like seriously considering a trip to Ikea, and which wouldn't be a big deal because as we were talking about, nothing here is shut down, which is ridiculous to me, but we'll not get into that. But dude, I heard from somebody online that, I don't know if this is true or not, but were you guys actually putting together an Ikea tour?
Yes.
Yeah, we got several appointments during the Ikea because we were going around Europe and Italy, and we made this kind of appointments called Eat and Greet. So we met with our fans at the restaurant of Ikea, and we get there just walking around and saying bullshits. The last time, as far as I remember, but Gatto can confirm you, we make also a kind of a challenge. So we put some of our stuff, like a CD.
We did a treasure hunt.
A treasure hunt in a furniture inside the Ikea showroom, so that the fans have to go there and get the stuff. And I think it worked, right?
I mean, so the idea was that, so we did it a couple of times. We did it in Spain and in Italy. We are like bringing our, CDs, posters, T-shirts. And then we would like sneak, like hide some T-shirts inside, the closet in Ikea, or like put a poster inside the fridge in Ikea. They have the kitchen, and we did it pretty much everywhere. Like at sometimes Ikea employees would ask us, "What are you doing?" "Oh, nothing. It's a treasure hunt." Seriously, we did that. I was doing that all the time. So we are hiding. I don't know. We had like patches, any kind, like peaks, and then we would move with the fans, like in some room, and we would say, "Okay, here we have hidden 3 CDs, 2 posters, and 1 T-shirt." So people would start, messing around stuff. Like they would dig into the, the bed, or they would open all the, the closets, and people were looking for the items we hid in those places. And so that's a documentary of that. We made a short documentary out of that. We got.
Oh man, that's amazing that the employees didn't know. I can just see, I'm like envisioning.
We got kicked out of a couple of Ikeas, by the way. I mean, we got the security got we got in trouble like in 2 or 3 places. It was always towards the end. Luckily enough, but at some point, like security would show up and say, "Okay, what are you guys doing here? Do you have an authorization?" Of course, we don't. Okay.
Oh, so you didn't?
No, we had our authorization from Odin.
Yeah, of course.
But they seem not to believe.
That's something we said. We believe in freedom of religion, and we were stopping people. We were actually, something we would do was like every time we would pass by one of those items that we mentioned in the song, then we would start singing. And so like we were knowing no parp, and the guys would answer ora pro nobis, like in the actual choir of the real song. And so
oh man, that's awesome. Have any of your songs legitimately pissed anybody off before? Like, have people been mad about anything you've ever released, like really mad?
Not about the songs maybe, but something else, yes.
Okay. It sounds like we're not going to elaborate on that.
I mean, it's public, so it's something that happened.
Yeah.
That's what's funny is like, nowadays too with, like somebody commented on my reaction video to Uranus and was like, cause I had fun in my video. Because I usually talk about gear. There was no, except for your guitar, there was no real gear to talk about. So I started just putting dumb Uranus puns in my video.
Come on, there's a telescope. Why didn't you comment on the telescope?
I don't know about that though. Like,
fuck.
Yeah. It's a telescope Stratocaster.
It's a refractor. Yeah.
It's a fractal Axifex telescope. But I had people that literally were like, "Your Uranus jokes are dumb and juvenile." I'm like, did you not listen to the song? Like, come on. But dude, it's been so fun watching some of this stuff, and I just love the blending of the genres and stuff like that. Because like I said, the first time I ever heard anything, I made that Steel Panther comparison, and a buddy of mine was like, no, they'll change their sound for like every theme they're doing, and I just find that so impressive. Like even the Sneezem of a Yawn, like immediately I was like, this legitimately sounds like System of a Down, like for sure. And and all the little hidden lyrics in there were just, I enjoy that, man. I enjoy when music can be good and put a smile on your face and not take it too seriously, because there's way too many bands that just take themselves way, way too seriously with a lot of stuff. But God, there's so much I wanted to ask you guys more, but I know you're on a schedule and I don't want to keep you longer than I should. I made that mistake the other day and we had to cut an interview short. So
don't worry.
Yeah. But, one more time before we end, I just want to get back to, December 4th, the vinyl releases. That's super cool, man. No joke. I'm going to order one right after this, and I'm just going to make sure it's on my wall next time you guys see me. So, but for the future, any videos coming out anytime soon? Is there anything you guys are working on?
There's an old video. It's like it's coming out. It's like an old new video. Like, I mean, Uranus, as you know, it's not a new song, so it was already featured on the original release of Stairway to Valhalla that was released 2 years ago. And so there's something more out of Stairway to Valhalla coming. And then we got I don't know. There's some news, some bad news. We're gonna, but we cannot tell it straight away. we need to wait until 2020 finishes, and then we can give more bad news. We don't want to add up to the whole shit that is.
Did you find like is there a comet coming that's going to just destroy us instead? Is that what's happening?
No. It's worse than that. It's worse than that.
Oh, okay. Well, man, now I'm going to be like wondering for the next 2 months, like what the hell is going on?
We want to leave people with on this sad note.
Yeah. Oh man.
You can ask Abdul about nice things because he got his lives improved. Like he was investing in Amazon before the COVID, and then he got like his wealth increased by a factor of 3 or something.
Yeah. I mean,
oh man. Well, guys, thank you very, very, very much for your time. This is always fun, especially talking to other guys in the music industry and stuff like that, just because, you know, for my background, a lot of the people I get to talk to are the people that I'm touring with at the time. And with technology like this, like what time is it there? It's evening, right? It's like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It's
6 o'clock actually.
Still morning here. So, yeah, that's crazy. But guys, thank you so much for your time. You know, if anybody's interested, I'll put the link for that vinyl in the description of this video for them to check out. And I can't wait for more and to check out more, because you've got a lot of more music that I need to go back and check out that I haven't still heard yet. So I'm excited about that. So, yeah, once again, thank you for your time. And
thank you.
Hopefully we'll get to do this again sometime.
Hopefully. Thanks a lot, person who has the name of an armored vehicle.
Yes. All right. Well, have a great one, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.